Hello and welcome to this class of the Sitar. It's a cold winter day here in Delhi as I'm sitting here, and as you can see, a little overdressed too. But here in India we don't have central heating, and when the temperatures go down, hands, feet frozen. But for us sitar players, a little extra problem because we need to also take out the socks, as I think I've already told you. So developing cold feet has a new meaning when you play sitar in the winters. What we did last time was basically talking about the first few things that one needs to know after tuning the instrument, after learning how to tune it, and all the necessary things. Talking about the first few exercises. Now, from your last class, last session that we had, we need to move a little further, and I presume you have been able to do the first few exercises. So now we'll be doing the next set of exercises. The first few sessions that we would be having is completely based on the different technical things that one needs to know about the sitar. Last time, as I told you, it was about the da stroke, the ra stroke, the chikari or the rhythm strings. And now I hope that you have been able to get both the da, the inward, and the ra, the outward strokes, and the left hand also in its place. After the initial pain, now we go on to the next set of exercises. And this, most of the sitar is done on da, ra, going alternate whenever it is an equal number, even number. When it's an odd number, like 3 or 5 or 7, obviously you start on a da and you end on a da. So the process would be is to start the number 1 again on a da, which means 2 consecutive da strokes. But we'll get to that later. The first one would be is to take a cluster of 4 notes. Now, the second finger on the last note, and then going back. Repeat again. Now, from each note, take these 4 downward and 4 upward, and every time make sure that you use your second finger for the last note. So, that was the last of the notes. One thing very important when you're doing this, or most of these exercises, is to make sure that when you use your second finger, not to lift the first finger off the string. It should always be placed on the previous note. So if you're playing the major scale, like what I was doing, so this not removing your first finger off the string helps you to get that continuity also. And what is very important is to keep the rhythm going. So we did the downward movement. Now to go back, it's very similar. Now, if you're able to do this a few times continuously, 2, 4, 8 times, that's wonderful. So I'll try and play it a little faster so you understand as to what you also need to practice upon. So on and so forth. Initially, perhaps, to not being able to recognize, you may have the tendency to try and look at the notes from the front. So, but my advice would be is to always try and recognize the notes from the back. And after a few months of practice, I'm sure you can even close your eyes and play. So that was the first exercise. Now increase one note. We were doing a cluster of 4. Now make it 5. 5 being an odd number, as I said, you will have to repeat the da at the end of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Da ra da ra da da ra da ra da. What is very important is also to be able to give an accent on one. How does one give an accent? Through volume. And the balance of the da and the ra stroke in terms of sound, there should be no difference. Neither should your da be harder or your ra softer. So to get that movement and not to sound other strings as you're playing, like no, just the one string. So what happens is basically you are taking the inward stroke, even though your misra hits the second string, it really stops it from vibrating and making the sound. So it is not, it is, so even though your finger does strike the second string, it does not make any sound. So these are very few important tips that we need to know right in the beginning. And now we move on to exercise number 2, a cluster of 5. Now, last one. Go back. continue. What is very important is to be able to do it continuously. Initially just once maybe, but then for a good session of practice, you should be able to play it 8, 10, 20 times continuously. So the next one would be the cluster of 6. 6 being an even number, we don't need to change the stroke, but try and give an accent on 1. Going back, that jump that is there when you have to go back, what is very important is to land with both your fingers in its respective positions. So the last one that we did, now this movement of both the fingers in its place at the right time and keeping the rhythm going is a very important thing. So last one, and then if you want to repeat the same thing, immediately go back to the pa, and which is the first. So the jumps are also important to get it in rhythm. So we have done 4, 5, 6. We can proceed to 7, and 7 again being an odd number, you'll have to repeat the da stroke at the end of 7, and then you restart your 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Da 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 da. Jump. Four, 5, 6, 7, and the last one is 8. Not a problem because it's an even number. So these are the first few exercises which will help you become more and more familiar with your instrument, the movements, the right hand, the left hand. So happy practicing and hope to see you soon. Thank you.